when a young lieutenant is commissioned, as I was, for me, I was very immature. And for those young lieutenants watching this, know that you're very immature, and know that you're going to grow and that leadership is a journey. It's a journey without a finish line. And the leader you are when you depart the service will be a different officer than the leader you are when you enter the service. I made a number of knuckleheaded mistakes that all lieutenants make. Thought I wasn't going to make them because I was too smart, too fast, whatever. Not true. I made the mistakes anyway. But what I encourage young officers to know is that the Army's a community and it's a team sport. It wants, first of all, it insists on winning, and it knows that everybody has to be fully optimized in that role to win. And the U.S. Army invests a lot in its leader development programs, a lot more than what I have seen in the few clients I've served in the corporate world. One, I tell you, is you're going to make mistakes. Two, as you mature, your worldview is going to change, and you're going to see things through different lenses. Usually young officers, it's all about me, my troops, my formation, and the heck with everybody else. Well, as you get older, you realize success is really defined by what the organization in which you serve does and how you help out your units and your brothers and sisters on your left and right flanks. And then as you get up more senior and you lead larger organizations, success is often defined as what happens outside of your formation, outside organizationally, via influence. And leadership, as you go older, tends to be more collaborative. You learn the value in seeking input from others. You learn, as I have learned, and it took a while. Right now, I am very comfortable. I know so very little. There's so much I don't know, and I'm excited when I learn something new and I study something new, and it usually sends me down a research path to learn more about a subject. And you realize that that organizations do best when they solicit input from a wide range of different opinions so that the commander is got all the information they can make to make the best possible decision. Once all that information and input's considered and the decision is made, the Army's famous for everybody has a responsibility to get after the decision that's been made. Some may disagree with it, but hey, that's the way it goes. And then you get after the task. And then you realize leadership. I said in one of my promotion speeches, first of all, I hit a point at some point where in my promotions that I felt grateful and humbled. And I realized that it was never, I brought a little bit to the table, but it was others who got me promoted. It was people who carried me along when I made mistakes, who covered for me on my shortcomings, people who forgave me when perhaps I was overly critical or too harsh or condescending or snide, and they stayed with me and behind me. And I realized that it has been, thousands of people who landed me to the rank of Major General, which is where I retired. And I think of them, I reflect upon them daily. There's been so many, and that's one of the great things about the service is that it's such a people organization. The people are the best. I mean, they're so great. They're exciting. They're salty. When you're talking to someone who's been in the armed service, when you bump into them in a civilian capacity, when you're someone who's been in the armed services. And I definitely can tell when I'm bumping into an Army person. We have this old guy because we all have a certain look and how we carry ourselves. In my little neighborhood, there's this guy, and he walks around with a walker, but every time he sees me, we've never spoken. He pops me the perfect salute, and I salute him right back. And I know by that salute that guy served in the armed forces. And it just makes my heart fill full of pride that one vet can recognize another vet. And we're in a sea of a nation of veterans. But circling back to your question, I went off on a tangent there. I apologize. But, with age and with maturity, you get a certain amount of wisdom. I read somewhere you don't really grow into having wisdom until around age 36. And I think there's something to that because really you have to accumulate a certain number of experiences from which you can draw conclusions and apply lessons for the future until you go through some hard knocks. And so, just young folks know that it's going to be okay. If the Army talks about character, competence, and commitment. If you have oak solid character, and that means you do the right thing, and you have established trust with your troops know that when you say something, you're going to stand by it. They're going to have your back. They are going to take care of you when you falter, when you make a mistake, you forgot something, or when you're in a meeting, you just rolled up and you got a meeting you got to run to, and you're in the field, you go to the battalion talk, and you step and there's someone handing you a plate of food that's been kept wrapped in aluminum foil when the chow line closed 2 hours ago. That kind of thing. It's a love. To me, it's a love, fraternal love, and that is kind of forged by hardship, through challenge, and through success, achieving goals. The team. We've all seen the Super Bowl. Wow, the winning team wins at the end of that game, and you can see it and you can feel it. Same thing with the armed services.